Wendell Potter with us for the hour, taking your calls and answering my questions. So back to the beginning, Wendell. The open enrollment period began on November 1st, if my recollection is correct, and runs until the end of January, if my recollection is correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
tell window of time.
Okay, what is open enrollment? Why is it limited to 3 months? And what should people know and do about it?
Well, open enrollment is a period of time, and if you get your coverage through the workplace, you're familiar with this. You have a defined period of time in which you can enroll in a health plan. And for Obamacare, for these insurance plans on the exchanges, as you noted, open enrollment started on the 1st of November and will go through the end of January. You have until December the 15th to sign up for coverage that would begin on January the 1st. If you miss that date, then your coverage would start sometime after the 1st of the year. And if you wait until after January the 31st, you'll have to wait till next year to sign up, or at least November the 1st of 2016 for coverage that would start the 1st of 2017. So those are dates that people need to be mindful of. If you miss it and you're uninsured and if you're not able to get coverage elsewhere, you'll be facing a penalty. Why do we have open enrollment anyway? The idea behind this is that people need to, at least the writers, the people who wrote the legislation, felt that if you didn't have a defined period of time, that people would just wait until they got sick before signing up for coverage. And of course, the insurance industry would have nothing to do with that. And for obviously good reasons. If people just waited until they got sick to enroll in coverage, then that would skew the risk pool. And we might talk about that. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds here, but that's the reason for the limited period of time.
Okay. And this is basically just how it's always been, and this is how it will be, because this is what works for health insurance. Yeah. Is there a similar thing in Medicare? Does Medicare have an open enrollment period?
Yeah, you do. People do have a certain period of time to sign up for Medicare. Certainly also for the Medicare pharmacy benefit, there's an open enrollment period, so you need to be mindful of that too. Now, as you turn 65 and become eligible, that's a different consideration. But every year in particular, if you're looking to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan, and keep in mind those are the plans that are operated by private insurance companies. It's an alternative to traditional Medicare. My preference would be to stay in the traditional Medicare program, but we do have that option of enrolling in a Medicare Advantage plan operated by a private insurance company. And there are some advantages and some disadvantages to being in one of those plans.
Yeah. This morning on MSNBC, Jose Diaz-Balart was interviewing John Barrasso, the senator from Wyoming. And in fact, let me just, do you have that clip real handy? Here, let me just play this for you. I'd love to get your feedback on this.
Sure.
In your Washington Times article, you say, and I'm going to quote, unless something dramatic happens, this may be the year of the health care law's collapse. Why this year? What are you basing that on?
Well, the Department of Health and Human Services, they're only expecting about half as many people to be signed up as they had originally projected. So we're still talking about 30 million people without insurance in the United States, in spite of all the president's promises, and fewer people are signing up.
Or the program, I played that and referred to Mr. Barrasso as probably imprudently as lying scum. But what's true and what's not true about what he just said?
Well, it's just utter nonsense, and it's certainly not going to collapse. Obamacare is not going to collapse, and what he was referring to about half as many people signing up as the government had thought, that's not correct. There was an estimate by the Congressional Budget Office at one point before the law was passed that in 2016 there might be as many as 21 million people needing to get their coverage through the exchanges. But that's proven not to be the case. A lot of people, the economy's gotten better. More people are able to get coverage through the workplace. A lot of people are eligible for Medicaid in the states that have expanded Medicaid. So we've gotten many millions of people insured who otherwise would not have been insured. In fact, about 17 million people are covered now as a result of Obamacare than would have been the case if the law had never been passed. So it is a success, and he is. I think your description was pretty apt. He's fear-mongering. He's trying to get people worked up in his party who don't like Obamacare in the first place, and trying to, I guess, worry the rest of us that something bad might happen. But he is just it's just hyperbole. He's wrong.
Yeah. Obamacare locks in enormous revenues. I mean, we're talking about tens of billions of dollars, I'm guessing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, for the health insurance industry. Why are Republicans, who are typically the shills for big business, and health insurance is certainly big business, why are they opposing it in the minute we have before the break?
It has nothing to do with healthcare, Tom. It's all about politics. And they saw from the very beginning, or they decided from the very beginning, that whatever the Democrats came up with, they would call a government takeover of healthcare. And they've never gotten off of that because it's worked well for them. They've done well in 2 election cycles, and they think that they may ride it again for another election cycle. It's just because they think they can win votes by fear-mongering and by opposing this, even though, as we talked before, the core of the law came from the Heritage Foundation years ago, which is a conservative Republican think tank. It is nothing more than just pandering for votes and scaring people.
Wow. And in the process of scaring people, they're going to cause people not to sign up for it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a story, I think it was in the New York Times today, about a county in, Wyoming or Oklahoma, where only 12 people had signed up for Obamacare.
Yeah. And
because we don't want that government stuff.
Exactly. It's worse than you can imagine.
Yeah,
Bad.
it's truly tragic, and people are going to die as a result of this. These Republicans are
killing people.
They have blood on their hands. We're talking with Wendell Potter. He'll be taking your calls after the break. Former health insurance executive, author of Deadly Spin and Obamacare, What's in It for Me, regular contributor to the Huffington Post and healthinsurance.org. We'll be right back.